This is Officer Mike Hanratty, one of the officers who wanted to intimidate me for trying to turn in, well, Robert Franklin Warnick. He was there for at least two of the situations with Robert Warnick, including one where he assaulted a woman. Now, at least three women that I've seen with him, the last people that I saw them with was him, and I haven't seen them since. What are the chances that Robert Farnsworth has something to do with the heads that are found in Oregon? I don't think it's very likely. I don't think he's got his faculties together quite that much. If they were found a little bit more locally, I might believe it. But I'd be more inclined to believe that he's got somewhere to bury people. Whether or not Robert Farnsworth is killing people is arbitrary. The fact is, he's threatening to kill people and the police do nothing. He's actually assaulting people and the police do nothing. He was going out of his way to make people's lives a living hell, and the police do nothing, including Officer Mike Hanratty. I got a message for you. I've been here for 6 months. 6 months of pure hell. Because your citizens are the trashiest citizens in the country. You have pretty words, but that is all. Your churches are hollow. So's your Jesus. You won't do anything about any of the problems of the world. You want to use your Jesus as an excuse. When a man is victimized, you want to tell him about oh, well, it doesn't matter because someday you're going to be dead and this Lord Almighty in heaven bullshit. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's a terrible excuse to be a piece of shit or to look the other way. I did not choose either for you. The police have ignored crimes against me most of my life. They pretend that the term mentally ill means schizophrenic. You know, I had officers in Longmont, Colorado, lie and say that I was schizophrenic because I tried to turn them in, along with other officers. When I have to stay in an area and try to turn in those officers, I'm stuck in that area. When they're allowed to victimize me into leaving, when they're allowed to pretend that I made no effort to turn in any of the crimes against me, something needs to be done. Your cowardice is not appreciated, Tillamook. Mike McKinster's cowardice is not to be tolerated. Mike McKinster could have done something for months. He could have done something, but he did absolutely nothing about the crimes being committed against me. He did not care. None of those people did. Now, I got Jaden from the Denny's over there talking about how crooked the cops are. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people over at the Denny's that had nothing good to say about your cops. Well, I have nothing good to say about you. And as much as I like those people at Denny's, they should have turned that shit in. They know it's happening. I didn't tell them about that with the intention of trading stories. I told them about it with the intention of turning it in. And hopefully they helped to turn it in. Oh, we got some idiot on the other end of the country is pissed off about me dogging on Tillamook cheese. It's not that good a cheese. It's a very dry cheese. Of course, here in Oregon, where everything is wet, you gotta have dry cheese because otherwise it molds almost immediately. So what do we do with Steelers Nation? That's the guy commenting here. Should we get rid of them? Steelers Nation types. I like their cheese. Well, you know what? I like their cheese too. Still, it's too dry for my liking. And whether or not you like their cheese does not detract from the fact that the citizens of this town are cowardly. Steelers Nation typed, come on. Come on what? You think that it should be okay for people to do these things because they make good cheese? Not everybody here makes cheese. Did you know that? What makes this country so great? Nothing. There's nothing great about this country. How we treat human beings. And I'm going to tell you, Steelers Nation, if you type one more thing about the fucking cheese and don't get your head out of your ass, I'm just going to block you from my channel. No problem. That's something I can do on the internet. I can block you asswipes. In real life, how do I block Robert Franklin Warnick? How do I block Robert Farnsworth? Well, I blocked Robert Farnsworth with my face. Yep, that's right. Now something needs to be done about these predators. Alright, this guy's getting blocked. I'm not here for trolling. So, what do we do on these guys? Actions. Hide user on this channel. And blam, that is as easy as it is to get rid of one of these trolls on the internet. But the predators in real life, it's not that easy. I've chosen not to blow up your town. I've chosen not to light fire to it. I've chosen not to accept the access that I have in this town to firearms. I have chosen not to walk into your school and shoot your children. I have chosen not to walk into your workplace and shoot you. I have chosen not to be violent through all of the violence that I've had to go through. It got to the point where I literally had to pick up a stick to fend off Farnsworth. The police would not do their jobs here nor anywhere else because cops are bad people. You want to prove to me otherwise? Well, maybe if they did their jobs, they could prove otherwise. You cannot prove otherwise for them. You cannot prove to me that these officers are good people after what they've done. Dear Tillamook, I'm after your officers. I aim to not only see that their badges are taken away, but see to it that they are put away in prison for the crimes that they've committed. Nobody should be forced to break the law to try to get cops to do their jobs. But here in Tillamook, well, seems to me people don't do anything about the cops except complain about them, about how much they suck. So why do you still have them? Why do you still have these cops around if they suck so bad? Why do you let them? Why do you allow them to continue this reign of terror? It's perfectly acceptable to you people, isn't it? The folks over there at the McDonald's, I understand why they do what they do. I don't hate them for it. I hate that they did it. Absolutely, I think that it's wrong. I shouldn't have been forced into a situation where I have to do these things in public. I have no privacy. Since I have no privacy, neither do you. None of you. Not Mike McKinster, not the folks over at the Fred Meyers, not the people at Starbucks. None of you. That's called equality. I have to make these calls in public, or I have to try to do it from my car, where it's difficult to record it. And even if I do get to record it, it's recorded on an audio device that takes me a lot of time to try to download to the internet. Meanwhile, I got to try to find somebody to advocate for me, because no matter what, these pigs just say, mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill, and magically it all goes away and they committed no wrong. I want you to take a look at the fact that I've been through this repeatedly since before the death of Natalie Bollinger. Cops not wanting to do their jobs. And then by the time they realized that they got busted not doing their jobs, they backtrack and backpedal and try to fucking avoid the situation. Not okay. If you live in Tillamook, Oregon, and you are not assisting me in turning in these predators, you are not assisting me in putting a stop to this violence, then you are my enemy. You are my enemy by your choice, by your decisions. However, I do not shoot my enemies. I expose them. Absolutely, I retaliate. As someone should. Your cowardice is not my fault. Your decisions are not my fault. Your willingness to look the other way is not my fault. If you didn't want to be recorded in public, you should not force people to do these things in public. You should not force a disabled homeless man to try to defend himself in public to a hostile public. He should not be forced to make legal phone calls from a fucking McDonald's, god damn it! So dear Tillamook, whatever you get, you deserve. When you complain about the cops, you pay attention to the fact that, well, oh, hold on a second. There's a maintenance car. Hey, do you guys need me to move? All right, cool. Thank you. Big difference between nice and good. Good people would help turn these things in. People are dead because cops didn't want to do their jobs. If you guys want to look back through history, Natalie Bollinger got her brains blown out in December of 2017. After over a year of my friends, family, and police officers looking the other way, or outright committing crimes against me for trying to get help. And here I am in Tillamook, Oregon, going through the same thing. When you're homeless, you get called mentally ill, and magically anybody can harm you at any point in time and get away with it. You're homeless. Nobody cares. A lot of people tell me, oh, you just need to get a job. You know, I used to work hard. But used to doesn't make a difference, does it? It doesn't matter to anybody that going out with the Jefferson family and cutting trees helped to keep my mind clear. Or going over to Jeff Baldridge's and helping him out with whatever project he was working on. That helped me out, both physically and mentally. But once I hurt my back, that wasn't a happening thing. Once I hurt my back, people stopped treating me like I was a person. And each and every one of you is just one false accusation away from having your own personal stay in hell. Unfortunately, it's hell on earth. Just because you're not going through it doesn't mean that you're not next. Bullies always got to have somebody to bully. Now, the officer whose face graces the cover of this, Officer Olson. At least he talks nice. But these officers only talk nice because they know they're being recorded. It is unfortunate that even knowing that they're being recorded, they don't feel the need to follow the laws. Cops wanted to cover up their crimes, and they did a great job. They destroyed a lot of evidence, and they got a lot of help from the public. These officers are not interested in the preservation of evidence. They're interested in ignoring it. They're interested in looking the other way. They didn't even bother to check on the body cam or on the cameras over there at Fred Meyer's with the situation with Molly. They didn't bother with talking to any of the witnesses. I had to beg the witnesses to go in and talk to these people. People like Jason Scudder, who never did. Apparently he lives in a perpetual hunting season. That's his version of being disabled. Usually I try to operate without using a cane, but I did break my toe about 2 weeks ago. So I've been using a cane again. When it's no longer completely painful to walk on my foot, then I'll stop using the cane. I can't afford to take care of myself. You got people in your community like Vicky Rain, and she meant well, but she's got severe mental issues that, of course, that's not a safe place to go. There's evidence over at Vicky Rain's, evidence of child abuse, child molestation, rape. There's even evidence of human trafficking. Not that anybody cares. Several of the witnesses in this situation that are recorded on my channel were human trafficked. 2 of them right here in Oregon. Several of the people who threatened to kill me are from Oregon. Might still be in Oregon. One of them recently from Coos Bay. You should look up the name Natalie Bollinger. That's what happens when you fuck with me. I tell the truth. She didn't end up dead because I told the truth. She ended up dead because she was stupid. She wanted to make her predators happy. And she figured if she pretended that I was some sort of a bad guy, then her family would actually love her. Well, it doesn't work that way. They love you until they get what they want, and then they're gone. Look at how many times Ted Bollinger has put his own daughter's life at risk, repeatedly, since the death of Natalie. Look how much officers have done to look the other way while the public destroys evidence. And then these officers claim that it's not their fault. They prevented me from turning in the crimes, god damn it! Hell yes, I speak out. Those of you in Tillamook, I want you to look around at your family. And I want you to thank, not your almighty God, I want you to thank Sean David Schwartz for not killing your family. I want you to thank Sean David Schwartz for not burning your house down. I want you to thank Sean David Schwartz for not grabbing a firearm and ammunition and explosives and having to go at your school. That's right, folks. I want a thank you for not being the piece of shit that you paint me as. You ignore the abuse and the hell that I have to go through. And then you blame me as if I never tried. Vicky Rain has a bunch of my evidence. And I'm going to tell you where that evidence is at and why it's so important. It's got evidence of child molesters like Rachel Klang. Sorry, Rebecca Klang. Her sister was still a minor when Rebecca molested her. I've got those words from Rachel Klang herself about her sister molesting her and her dad beating on her. So Vicky Rain did exactly the wrong things. She hijacked my evidence. So there's a bunch of evidence of the wrongdoing of police officers. A bunch of evidence of the wrongdoing of rapists and child molesters. I want you to look up the name Robert Franklin Warnick on the Nebraska Sex Offender Registry. That's one of my predators. Now, I've got a bunch of evidence over at 4600 Idaville Road, space 36, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. That evidence includes a lot of people who are already in prison now. Sarah Nelson's already in prison. Michelle DeCini's already in prison. Polly Olson's on her way to prison. And then, of course, Garden County Sheriff Michelle Quinn lost her job because she wanted to beat the hell out of her girlfriend. Meanwhile, you're going to take these people's word over mine. Sarah Nelson was the assistant warden in the prison I was in. By the way, I was sent to prison for trying to turn in Scott DaCosta, Robert Franklin Warnick, Leslie Snell, and a guy by the name of William Barr, who used to be a friend of mine. You might want to look up the name Natalie Bollinger. She was wonderful in person, but she was horrible when she's embarrassed. A lot of people, they wonder why I hang out with people that I should be embarrassed to be around. Well, no, I shouldn't. I shouldn't be embarrassed. Lucky me, I don't get embarrassed because I don't care about your trivial shit. Dear Tillamook, you fucked up. You fucked up big. You fucked with the wrong person. You want to go back and play victim now that you realize how bad you fucked up. You don't get to do that. You chose to look the other way. You chose to look the other way. Now, I have tried. Lord knows I've tried. Every outlet I possibly can. I'm trying to turn in my predators. I need a safe place to do that. The longer it takes for that to be provided, the longer I'm out here being victimized, and the longer I'm out here recording it, and what a shitty town Tillamook fucking Oregon is. No wonder half your state is trying to move away. You people suck. You're Nazis, straight up. I got recordings of your KKK asswipes in McDonald's holding their fucking meetings in McDonald's. Are you fucking shitting me? The only thing that keeps them from getting worse is the fact that I get loud. They get extremely loud with their racism in that place and their hateful rhetoric. I have zero respect for any citizen of Tillamook, Oregon, save for myself, now that I am a Tillamook resident. Said so on my ID. Now you fucks are going to do something about how the homeless are treated here. I'm not asking you to make it a mecca for every homeless person in the nation. What I'm saying is you need to stop victimizing us into moving somewhere else. You are fucking trash. And if somebody did that to you, you wouldn't fucking like it, would you? God bless America and all that. By the way, you're welcome for not killing you. You're welcome for not walking into your schools and killing your kids. You're welcome for not assaulting 14-year-old girls at the Safeway parking lot like the cops here did. You're welcome for not being a complete and total bastardly and cowardly piece of shit like the rest of you. God bless America. Now, those of you who don't know me, here's how I end my videos. Good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's, and no victim left behind. Not even if they're called mentally ill.